Hello and welcome to the Command Podcast, where our mission is to help you take command of your mind, your body, and your future. To create a powerful, effective individual who has a desire to immerse themselves in greatness, so that together we can unify and assume command of our environment, our communities, and our country to do our part in preserving freedom. Join me on this mission of becoming the next generation of leaders to make living with integrity badass again. I'm your host, Trenton Ebersol, and now it is time to take command. This is the Command Podcast number 32, and today I want to talk about something that's been pretty front on my mind lately because I've been struggling myself. As some of you guys know who follow me on social media, I work a heavy equipment operating job, and the summer is the busy season where we work, 50 to 80 hours a week, but usually the average is probably 60 to 70 hours most weeks, and it's very busy, and to be quite honest, it beats the crap out of you. A lot of early mornings, waking up at 1:30 in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, working a lot of 16-hour days, working 6, 7 days a week, a lot of weeks, working out of town. I think I stayed in a hotel close to 200 nights this year. Some of those times I was out on the Utah-Nevada border for over a month straight. Didn't even come home because it was, 10-hour drive home. So it's not worth driving for 2 full days almost just to come home for a few hours. So, it really kind of beats the crap out of you. And I will tell you one thing, I personally did better than I ever have done during the work season this year. Over the past 8 years, 10 years, I've had a lot of ups and downs. When I was in high school, I grew up as a fat kid, and in high school, I started working out all the time to kind of escape from, being that fat guy. So, I was really into working out, would spend 3 hours a day in the gym in high school. And then when I turned 18, I started working in the shop, worked in the shop for 2 years at the company I used to work at, and, still had the time to work out because I'd work 8, 10-hour days, but I got to go home. I got to go home and I got to basically have a schedule and plan things out for myself. But then I started going out in the field, and that first year, I put on like 40 pounds of fat, lost all my muscle. I think I put on more than 40 pounds because I basically got up to like 230, 240 pounds was fat, and very disappointed who I saw in the mirror. And after that day, and I know a lot of you guys have probably heard this story because I talk about it quite often. After that day, because I was so disgusted in the man that I saw looking back at me in the mirror, I decided to make a change and lost 30 pounds in the next 6 weeks. And, got in great shape. But over those 8 years of being out in the field until today, I've still had many, many ups and downs. And I've been trying to really dial in how to really be, a blue collar man who works an extremely demanding schedule mentally, physically, and just, where you're really tired and you have very little time to yourself to relax and stuff, and actually spending some of that time exercising and doing things to better yourself rather than just drinking beer, eating fast food, and doing kind of what the most people's view of blue collar guys are. What a lot of blue collar guys do is, they just kind of use their free time to relax, drink beer, and stay in their comfort zone. So this year I've done better than every year in the past. I got considerably in the best shape of my life up until about a couple months ago when I injured my shoulder. I think the only time I might have been in a little bit better shape than I was a few months ago was when I did 75 hard. What was that, 2 years ago now? But when I did 75 hard, I was not during the busy work season, so I was only working 2 or 3 days a week, so I had a lot more time to myself. Well, this year I got in extremely good shape and was very consistent. And you got to think, I don't have like one gym that I can go to when I'm out of town. I basically have three different gym memberships, and wherever I'm at out of town, I try to find a gym to go to, or I just go on walks, jogs outside of my hotel, or I go and hit the gym in the hotel. But ever since I hurt my shoulder, I did slack. You see me over here kind of messing with my shoulder because it bugs me all the time right now. It doesn't hurt like it did after I hurt it. what I was doing was I was doing incline, or I was doing shoulder presses, dumbbells, and I was just basically warming up because I was getting pretty strong. And I was just warming up with, the 70 pounder, 70 in each hand. And just on my second rep, it just popped. I just felt a pop, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't good. And honestly, I hurt my shoulder about every year, but this year I was really feeling good and hoping it wouldn't happen. But, it just takes that 1 second of maybe not having the absolute best form for your shoulder to just give and pop. So I'm getting to something here. I'm just kind of leading it up with a little bit of a story here. So basically, I was in great freaking shape. I was feeling awesome getting into the gym, waking up an hour and a half early when I was out of town, when I had to be at the job at 6 or 6:30 in the morning anyways, waking up at 3, waking up at 4, whatever I had to do to get a workout in. And I was eating very clean. I was staying, like I said, I was in Wendover, staying in Utah, working in Nevada on Highway 80. And I was literally out of town for over a month straight, never came home. Staying in a hotel with literally just a microwave, and I would just eat microwavable food, but I would get good stuff, and I was hitting my macros, high protein microwavable food like the pre-cooked chicken, and I just eat that with some rice. Or they have like these meatloaf packs or like these beef tip packs and a little bit of gravy, and they just have like 60, 70 grams of protein with 400 to 600 calories, and I was eating that all the time. Got in great shape by eating out of a microwave, staying in a hotel, no kitchen, and a really crappy gym. But I was consistent, and I was very disciplined on my nutrition, and that's what really got me there. And then again, I popped my shoulder. Since then, I took probably about a month straight off of the gym, and since then I've gotten back into the gym, not working out like I normally do, trying to take it easy because it still has some healing to do. And it's very uncomfortable, especially after I lift like chest or back or anything. It gets really uncomfortable for the next couple days, but this time is different. Work is starting to slow down for me. So I'm back in the gym, yes. And I've always said in the past that when you don't feel like doing something, usually that is the time when you have the best workout. When you don't feel like going to the gym, when you don't feel like eating the healthy meal, when you don't feel like going on a jog or your walk, your low intensity, steady state cardio to burn fat. When you don't feel like doing stuff like that and you're in kind of a slump, you're kind of in a little slump in your life where you don't want to fall through with what you have to do to achieve your goals. And I always used to say that if you go and do it, those are usually always the best workouts that you ever have, because you followed through regardless of how you felt. And yes, that is true for the most part, but lately I've been stuck in this slump, and I think a lot of people get stuck in slumps regularly. You have these ups and downs throughout the year where you want to take action, you're motivated, but then you have these times when you're not motivated at all. And what I want to bring forth today is, it doesn't matter if you're motivated. It doesn't matter how you feel. And sometimes going out and doing the thing, you're still not going to be happy doing it. You're not going to start lifting weights and be like, oh, I'm totally happy that I came and did this. Or go on a trail run. I just got back from a 6-mile trail run. I've been, 6 miles to me is pretty short. To me, I usually do 10 to 15 mile trail runs. And anything shorter than 8 miles, I kind of feel like a bitch doing it, because I feel like I'm cutting myself short on what I normally would do, cutting myself on actually challenging myself. But 6 miles is pretty challenging for me right now, and I'm pushing myself a little bit. And yeah, I think about doing it for too long, and then finally I get out and do it. And normally I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm happy I came and did this, which I am. I'm not saying that I'm not happy that I went and did it. What I'm saying is, when I get there and start doing it, all I can think about is quitting. All I can think about is not wanting to be there. Same with the gym lately. I get there and start lifting and my shoulder starts bugging me, and all I could think about is cutting it short. Using my shoulder injury as an excuse to just cut it short and do nothing, even though I can do things that can work around that shoulder. So you're going to get in these slumps, and all that matters is that you do something. You get up and you put your shoes on, you walk out that door and you do something. Maybe it's just going for a walk. Maybe it's just going and lifting light weights for 30 to 40 minutes. Whatever it might be. Maybe it's stretching and doing some functional movements to try and get your body in a better shape, better mobility, better functionality for when you can start hitting it hard again. But it's going to take you some time sometimes to get back into that motivated state. Normally we're not motivated. Even when I am in those times when I'm really motivated and I want to do things, most of the time when I wake up early, I still don't want to go to the gym, but I know that what it's going to make me feel like after I go to the gym is much more worth, it's going to be much more rewarding and satisfying, and I'm going to be much more proud of myself than if I were to stay in my comfort zone and seek that comfort to sleep in for that extra hour, or just relax at home and call it a day, and just call it watch movies and Netflix all day. You got to always think about the sense of accomplishment that you're going to get after you do it, but sometimes it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some consistent effort, bad days where you just would rather eat a freaking steaming pile of dog crap than actually go out and work out, go out and do your walk, go out and do your jog, whatever it is for you. And it might take some time to get back into that state where you're fired up and ready to tackle your goals. And that's how it's been for me. Just like with doing my podcast and posting content, most of the time I don't want to do them. I gotta force myself to do them. Right now, I felt like doing a podcast, because this is something that's been weighing on my mind, and I know that people struggle with this all too much. We want to feel good, we want to feel like doing what we need to do to move forward, but the truth is, the unfortunate truth about life is you're very rarely going to feel like doing what it is that you got to do to move forward and grow, get better, stronger, more capable in your mind, body, and your skill sets. Because of course that's what we talk about doing here. Those are the 3 areas that you got to get better and stronger and more capable in to move your life forward. And usually the things that help you move forward in those areas are not the easy things. Usually they're uncomfortable. They're the harder things to do. What's easier? Well, the easy thing to do is to get fat, to eat the easy food that tastes good, the ice cream, the pizzas, the cheeseburgers and French fries. That's the easy thing to do. The easy thing to do is to say, I'll just start doing the gym tomorrow, or I'm just going to skip my walk today. I'm going to stay on the couch and just watch some TV, play some video games, and do nothing. That's the easy thing to do. The hard thing to do is actually get up and do the things to grow. Do the workouts, do the walks, eat the healthy food, read the book, listen to the podcast that's going to help you learn and help develop your mindset and make you think positively about growing and success in your life. The easy thing is to put your favorite song on and just listen to music mindlessly and put nothing good in your mind. So we got to really start making a habit of, no matter how we feel, no matter how we're doing that day and what we want to spend our time doing, just getting out there and doing something to grow and move forward, especially on the days that we don't want to. And sometimes these slumps are going to come in 3, 4, 5 month stretches. And those are the most important times where you still got to get out there and do it. And it's unfortunate because sometimes it's just so hard to pull yourself out of that. But the only way to pull yourself out of that is 2 ways. And this is so true. And I've learned this through experience over the years. There's 2 ways to get yourself out of a slump. It's either through pain, because you've been in that slump so long and you were just taking the easy path and you put on 30 or 40 pounds, or, you lost your job because you were slacking off at work, or, you developed some kind of disease, cardiac related disease or sickness because you've been so unhealthy and you've gained weight. And now you just hit a pain threshold, or maybe your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, your significant other, wants to leave you now because you just don't care about yourself and they're not attracted to you anymore. And, if you don't respect yourself, how are they going to respect you and attract you, right? And that's what happens when you're not doing the right thing for yourself to grow and get better and stronger and more capable and to stay in shape and to be healthy. So, again, 2 ways. Hit a pain threshold by doing the wrong things and getting yourself to a place where you look in the mirror, like I've done multiple times throughout my life, and say, I'm disgusted with that person looking back at me. That's what hitting a pain threshold is. It's looking in the mirror and thinking to yourself, what have you let yourself become? I'm disappointed in you. You're better than this. That's one way to do it. The second way to pull you out of a slump is to just consistently grind it out. Maybe you're not doing as much as you do when you're feeling really good, motivated, like you want to crush it. But if you just consistently grind it out through those days, weeks, months, maybe even years of not wanting to follow through for yourself, you just got to grind it out, and eventually you will pull yourself out of it. And I think it's not going to take years, but you will eventually pull yourself out of that slump and get yourself back into wanting to work towards something. So now I want to touch on something of what else you must do to pull yourself out of a slump and what really creates motivation. Well, it's something that I talk about. What do I talk about in this? Part of the mission is taking command of your future. Why do I say that, and why is it so important? Okay, well, you got to take command of your mind. You got to take command of your body. This is your temple. This is the vessel that is going to take you through this life. So you got to be healthy. You got to be healthy in your mind. You got to learn new things. You got to build new skill sets. You got to grow, and you got to be healthy in your body. You got to, basically sharpen your physical capabilities, because, life is physical, and you got to be in shape. You got to be healthy, because your health really is like the pinnacle of your life, the pinnacle of your growth and who you are as a person. So you got to put those things at the forefront, and they go hand in hand. As you grow your physical strength, you will grow your mental strength, because everything that you do to grow your physical strength will also strengthen your mind. And then you got to take command of your future. And how is that going to help pull you out of a slump? Well, I know that when I'm on top of it and I am doing good and I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in, and I'm growing and getting better in my body and mind every day, it's because I know what I want. I know what I want my life to look like 5-10 years down the road, or even 6 months down the road, 3 months down the road. You got to know what you want, and you got to keep that in your mind, because that's going to give you the internal drive. It's going to light a flame to move forward. And when you start looking in the mirror and seeing results, and you look good and you feel good about yourself, that's going to push you to want to do more, because you know that those hard things is what's making you feel good. It's giving you a dopamine release when you look at yourself in the mirror. And now you're feeling good about yourself, so you're going to do more of what made you feel good. Just like when you're drinking too much and you're eating crap food, it's because you tied basically the cue and the responses to drinking or eating bad food. Drinking made you feel good, so you seek that. Eating crap food made you feel good in the moment, followed by regret normally, but it made you feel good in the moment. Now you tie that to the craving. So next time you have the craving to feel good, this is kind of what habits are. You have a cue, craving, response, and then a reward. The cue is, I want to feel good. The craving, it depends on what you've wired that craving to be in your mind. In this case, let's say bad food and alcohol. You want to feel good. Your craving is to go and eat some bad food or drink some alcohol. The response is you go and eat some bad food or you drink some alcohol. The reward is you feel good. So if you want to change that habit, the cue and the craving stay the same, and then the rewards stay the same. What changes is the response. So the craving is you want to feel good. Now, this is the hard part of actually breaking a habit. You have to go out and change the response. So the response that I'm going to do now to stop doing those things is I'm going to go exercise. I'm going to go read. I'm going to go do something that makes me feel good, that's productive for myself. Now the reward is you feel good, because you're going to get a dopamine reward hit. You're going to have a dopamine release in your brain, which makes you feel good. That is the hormone that makes you feel good about what you just did. So, not hormone. So change the response, keep the same reward, and that's how you change your habit. So that's what I got for you guys today. You're just gonna get stuck in a slump sometimes. What matters is that you grind it out. Too many times in my life, I've allowed myself to push myself to a pain threshold before I made a change. This time I'm not doing that, because I did so good all year during the work season. Then I hurt my shoulder, end of the year came through, and maybe started enjoying a little bit more food, not working out as much, and then sitting around waiting too long to go do my trail run. Today I kind of sat around in the morning, and then finally my goal was to go on a 20-mile hike today. I didn't do it. I came up with reasons not to, which granted, I had a good reason today. I came up with a good reason, because I should be working on my podcast. I should be working on the mission of the Command Project. That's what I should be working on. And going and doing a 20-mile hike, yes, it's good for my mind, it's good for my body, but it's not moving me forward in the one area that I want to move forward in more than anything else this year, and that is this right here, the podcast, the mission, the Command Project. So I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go on a trail run first thing in the morning. Well, I woke up, decided not to go on a trail run first thing in the morning. Instead, I kind of just hung out, spent some time with my wife, which was good. That's always important. But I was kind of being lazy about it. And I finally said, okay, I'm going to go out and do my cold plunge. And that's what set the trajectory for the rest of my day. I went out, did my cold plunge. The water was about 51 degrees this morning, and that shit will wake you right up. So I did my cold plunge, and after that, I'm like, all right, now I'm going to go on a run. So I went, did a 6-mile run, pushed myself, did pretty good run, kept a decent pace with some elevation gain through the hills. And then I came right home, and that's where I am right now, sitting in front of you recording this, because I basically stopped the comfort, the seeking of comfort, to start working towards building momentum for the rest of my day. And now I feel awesome. And I could have started eating food, or I could have started drinking or something, but instead I started doing something else to make me feel good. And that is working towards the version of myself and the mission and the business that I want to create in this world. So that's what you got to do. When you have a cue and a craving for something, you just have to change the response, and that will help you change your habits. And you just got to keep grinding it out until finally you pull yourself back into a state where you want to start working towards something. But don't beat yourself up if you don't want to work towards being better right now, because it happens to all of us. In fact, most of your life is going to be spent not wanting to do things, but what matters is that you do them. So that's, again, what I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. I hope you got some value from this. If you did, leave a comment, send me a message, and send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or leave a comment on the podcast or on YouTube of other podcast topics you would like me to talk about. So share it, leave a review, please, and have your friends listen to it, because I need your guys' help growing this mission so that we can change the world. So until next time, join me on this mission of becoming the next generation of leaders to make living with integrity badass again. I'm your host, Trenton Ebersol, and now it is time to take command.